Ever thought you could be a victim of a fake cop? Well, I did. And trust me, it's not something you'd ever want to experience. Picture this: a regular day turned into an unexpected nightmare. The sun was setting, and I was heading home when a seemingly normal traffic stop took a sinister turn. The man behind the badge was not who he seemed. His eyes held a menace that betrayed his friendly facade, and I found myself in a dangerous game of cat and mouse. For a moment, it felt like I was trapped in a horror movie, but this was no fiction. This was my reality. The chilling encounter left me with an eerie feeling that lingered long after, casting a shadow over my everyday life. It was a stark reminder that evil exists in the most unexpected places, wearing the most convincing disguises. It was a frightening encounter that changed me, made me question the trust we place in the hands of those who are supposed to protect us. That's when I realized there are more like me, victims of fake cops, and their stories are far more chilling than mine. Our first story takes us to a quiet town, a place where you'd least expect such a terrifying incident to happen. Picture this: a sleepy hamlet nestled in the heart of the country, where everyone knows everyone, and the most exciting event is the annual bake sale at the local church. The protagonist of our tale is a young woman named Emily, a beloved member of this tranquil community. Emily lived a simple life, working as a librarian and spending her free time nurturing her love for classic literature. But one night, everything changed for her, and the tranquility of the town was shattered by an event so unnerving, it still sends shivers down the spine of the locals. The sun had set, and the usually bustling town was silent, save for the occasional hoot of an owl. Emily was returning home from a late-night book club meeting, her steps echoing in the empty streets. Suddenly, a car pulled up beside her. The vehicle's appearance was deceivingly ordinary, but the man inside was anything but. He introduced himself as Officer Matthews, a friendly face in the sea of uniforms. His badge was shiny, his smile reassuring, but Emily felt a chill crawl up her spine. Something was off. There was a sinister aura around this supposed officer. But in a town as safe as hers, Emily dismissed her fears as mere paranoia. As the conversation continued, Officer Matthews asked Emily if she needed a ride home. His voice was silky smooth, almost hypnotic. Emily, despite the alarm bells ringing in her head, found herself nodding and stepping into the car. She would soon regret this decision. The ride started off as expected. Officer Matthews was making small talk, asking about Emily's life and interests. But as they drove further from the town center, his demeanor changed. His questions became intrusive, his eyes predatory. Emily's heart pounded in her chest, her hands gripping the seat tightly. In a burst of courage, Emily demanded to be let out of the car, but Officer Matthews just laughed, his eyes flashing dangerously in the dim light. Panic surged through Emily, her mind racing for a way out. In a desperate attempt, she reached for the door handle, but it was locked from the outside. The rest of the night was a blur of fear and anguish for Emily. She finally managed to escape when the car slowed down near an old farm, running into the dark night with the haunting laughter of the fake officer echoing in her ears. The horror of that night still haunts Emily. She's no longer the carefree woman she once was. Her trust in the safety of her own town shattered. The fake cop was never found, his identity remaining a mystery. The quiet town was left disturbed, its peace replaced by a lingering fear. But this is just the beginning. There are more such spine-chilling stories. The next tale of horror takes us to a bustling city, showing that no place is truly safe from these impostors. Imagine, if you will, an ordinary day in the life of a software engineer named Raj. He was a regular guy, a creature of habit, who found comfort in the predictability of his daily routine. But on this particular day, his routine would be shattered in the most terrifying way. Raj was returning home from work, deep in thought and completely unaware of the sinister plot that was about to unfold. As he approached his apartment, a man in a police uniform approached him. The man had a stern look on his face, the kind that unnerves you, makes your palms sweaty, your heart race. He introduced himself as Officer Sharma and informed Raj that there had been a string of burglaries in the area and that he was there to investigate. The fake cop was clever, using well-rehearsed lines and showing a fake badge to gain Raj's trust. He asked Raj if he could come in and check his apartment for any signs of forced entry, to which Raj unwittingly agreed. Once inside, the impostor's demeanor changed. He drew a knife from his belt and demanded Raj to hand over all his valuables. Raj, petrified, complied. The fake cop then tied him up and left him helpless in his own home, escaping with Raj's hard-earned belongings. The aftermath of the incident was a living nightmare for Raj. He was left feeling violated, his home, once a sanctuary, now a haunting reminder of the horrifying ordeal. He developed a fear of strangers, a paranoia that made him question every uniformed officer he came across. He sought therapy to cope with the trauma, but the psychological scars ran too deep. This story serves as a chilling reminder of the cunning tactics these fake cops use to exploit their victims. They prey on our trust in the uniform, our respect for the law, and our inherent need to cooperate with authority. The experience changed Raj's life forever. He became an advocate for awareness, sharing his story to educate others about the dangers of fake cops. His journey from victim to survivor is a testament to his resilience and strength. But let this tale also serve as a warning. No matter how busy we are, how wrapped up in our routines, we must always be vigilant. We must question, verify, and trust our instincts. For in this world, not everything is as it seems, and the wolf often wears the sheep's clothing. As terrifying as it sounds, it's a harsh reality. But the worst is yet to come. Our final story is the most horrifying of them all. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a typical evening, and I was driving home from work. The sun had already set, and the road was dimly lit. Suddenly, I saw flashing lights in my rearview mirror. A cop car, or so I thought. As I pulled over, a sense of unease washed over me. There was something off about this situation. The man who approached my car didn't look like a typical cop. His uniform was disheveled, and his badge looked questionable. He asked me to step out of the car, his voice cold and authoritative. I complied, albeit with a feeling of dread. As I stood there, under the stark glare of the patrol car's headlights, the man revealed his true intentions. He wasn't a cop. He was a predator, disguised as a guardian of the law. His eyes, cold and calculating, studied me as he pulled out a weapon. Fear surged through me, but I knew I had to keep my wits about me. I remembered something I had read about dealing with such situations. I began to ask him questions, trying to confuse him, trying to buy some time. I asked him about his badge number, his precinct, anything I could think of. For a moment he faltered. That moment was all I needed. I lunged at him, catching him off guard, and managed to escape. As I raced away, my heart pounding in my chest, I glanced back to see the man, the fake cop, standing there, watching me. It was a sight that would haunt me for years to come. This incident shook me to my core. It reminded me of the horrifying reality that there are people out there who misuse the trust we place in our protectors. They use their fake badges not to serve and protect, but to prey on the unsuspecting. The cunning and brutality of this fake cop made this incident the most disturbing story of my life. It was a stark reminder of the world we live in, a world where trust can be manipulated and safety can be an illusion. This experience changed me. It made me more cautious, more aware. It made me realize the importance of being vigilant and questioning things that seem off. That's the reality of these fake cop horror stories. It's a chilling reminder of the world we live in. These stories are not meant to scare you, but to make you aware. As we reach the end of our journey into these disturbing true accounts of fake cop horror stories, let's remind ourselves of the purpose behind sharing these narratives. It's not about sending shivers down your spine or keeping you awake at night. Instead, it's about shedding light on the darker corners of our world, in the hope that this awareness can help us remain vigilant and safe. It's easy to get lost in the fear, and forget that knowledge is power. Each story we've shared today is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that we can and should question the things that don't feel right. It's a call to trust our instincts, to be aware of our surroundings, and to never underestimate the importance of vigilance. Perhaps you've had an encounter that's unnerved you, or maybe you know someone who has. If so, we invite you to share your experiences. Every story shared is a step towards spreading awareness, a step towards ensuring that we can all stay one step ahead of those who seek to harm us. And while you're here, why not take a moment to subscribe to our channel? By doing so, you're not just supporting us, but you're also becoming part of a community dedicated to shedding light on the dark. A community that believes in the power of sharing and learning from each other's experiences. So, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, share this video with your friends, your family, your co-workers. Let's spread awareness together. Let's foster a community that values vigilance and safety above all else. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and remember, if you have a story to share, we're here to listen. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Until next time, keep your eyes open.